Please start.
Wishing everyone a very bright and cheerful morning. On the very first day, when Bharat has just begun the process of unlocking after 2.5 months of a nationwide lockdown, I, CA Madhuri Zamwar, Coordinator BAC, welcome you for a national webinar on Unleash Yourself, How to Pace Up with Difficult Times and Discover the Power in You, which has received participation from more than 4,000 delegates. It is really heartening to see all of you virtually joining us on a Sunday morning, which only goes to show the relevance of today's topic. This national webinar has been jointly organized by SPN Doshi Women's College, Mumbai and Mukta. Now, I welcome dignitaries from both these organizing bodies. Our pleasant and dynamic principal, Dr. Asha Menon, our young at heart director, Dr. S. Kumdavali, vice principals of all faculties and coordinators of self-financing courses, head of accountancy, CA Vimal Ashar. Let me take a minute to introduce you to the theme of today's webinar. We at SPN Doshi Women's College believe that each individual is a seed which can flourish and blossom if given the right environment and nourishment. The current time of abrupt changes due to the pandemic can pose unique challenges to the process of growth and flourishing, limiting possibilities and causing stress and anxiety. It can dullen our spirit and reduce the gleam of our shine. Hence, this is precisely the time to remind ourselves that all of us have the power within us to create exactly what we desire. It is difficulties that opens up doors of possibilities and opportunities if we approach them with the right mindset. With this view in mind, the departments of accountancy and BAC got together to imagine the different ways in which we could continue to shape transformation, facilitate growth, and leverage individual strength. It was this thought that helped us put together this webinar themed Unleash Yourself, Pacing Up in Difficult Times and Discovering the Power in You. Now I invite Dr. Asha Menon, the principal of our institution, who has been the driving force behind our college organizing a series of national webinars, this being the third in a span of 1 week. Over to you, Asha ma'am, for the inaugural address.
Thank you, Madhuri ma'am. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the national level webinar on Unleash Yourself, How to Pace Up with Difficult Times and Discover the Power in You, organized by the Department of Accountancy and Department of BAF of SPN Doshi Women's College, Mumbai. Before I say a few words about the webinar, I would like to mention a few accomplishments of my college. Our institution is 60 years old. We have been recognized as one of the top performing institutes in the country from Maharashtra by NAC in 2017. Our college was accredited thrice with A grade by NAC in 2003, 2010, and 2016. The vision of our institution is to educate, enlighten, and empower girls. Well-qualified and dedicated teachers, excellent teaching and learning process, student support like mini lunch, clothes bank, and book bank, good governance, leadership, and management, and best practices like IQAC and academic and administrative audit have helped us to achieve what we have today. All these have culminated not only in getting high grades in NAC, but also in fulfilling our vision to be recognized as a center of excellence for education that empowers women, leading to self-actualization. Coming back to today's webinar, Unleash Yourself, How to Pace Up with Difficult Times and Discover the Power in You. Let me ask all of you, how many times have you asked yourself, am I on the right path? Am I taking charge of my life? Or is my life taking charge of me? Many a times we do introspect I'm reminded of Tony Robbins' famous quote, "Success is doing what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want." I would not dwell on this topic much as we have an expert with us, but I want to tell you a few strategies that I enjoyed to take charge of my life and career. Number one, develop focus. Instead of being distracted by all the areas where you want to take charge of your life, focus on one area at a time. When you develop focus, you're able to see solutions where you might have missed them before. Number two, cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful to the people who have helped you in your way to your success. Pace yourself. Learning how to take charge of your life is much like a race. Stop trying to get everything done as quickly as possible. Slow down. When you slow down, you incorporate mindfulness into your actions, which sets the stage for pursuing meaningful goals. And the last, make yourself vulnerable. Making changes in your life is going to create some discomfort. Since you are making yourself vulnerable, you must work through the discomfort to know yourself more fully. How others see you is not important. How you see yourself means everything. Knowing yourself is true wisdom and mastering yourself is true power. You will learn more about it from our renowned resource person for today, Dr. C.A. Rita Shah, growth coach and TEDx speaker. Welcome, madam. I am sure we all would take back many valuable tips from your session. I would like to welcome Dr. S. Kumdavali, madam, Director, SPRJ Kanyashala Trust, to this webinar. She is a go-getter. Whatever she decides, she runs behind to achieve it. She is a role model to all of us. Welcome, madam. I would like to invite and welcome all the vice principals and the principals who have joined us from all the different colleges. Welcome. Without you, this wouldn't have been a success. I would like to welcome our participants. I am told there are more than 4,000 participants from 25 states and 5 union territories of India, and a few participants from overseas too, from Japan, New Zealand, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. We are happy to see you in such overwhelming numbers, both from the teachers, parents, and students. Wishing the webinar the very best, and I congratulate Vimal sir, Gunwant sir, and Madhuri madam and their team for organizing this motivating session. Thank you. Over to CA Madhuri Zamwar madam.
I thank Dr. Asha Menon for her kind and encouraging words. Another important link in this string of national webinar is Mukta. I now request CA Dr. Meenakshi Rach, convener publication team Mukta, to acquaint the participants with the association. Over to you, Dr. CA Meenakshi Rach, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. A very happy morning to all. My proud privilege to say about Mukta. राष्ट्र के हित में शिक्षा, शिक्षा के हित में शिक्षक, शिक्षक के हित में समाज is the main motto of Mukta. In the line with this objective, Mukta is helping teachers since its inception, following the path of former leader Dr. Shekhar Chandatre as a president and General Secretary Dr. Namdev Marnage. Now under the leadership of Dr. Vaibhav Naravde as a president and Professor Subhash Atavale as a general secretary, Mukta is progressing and helping teachers. To educate teachers toward their responsibilities and to provide the information, the Teachers Education Cell is formed. Teachers Grievance Cell is also created to support the teachers and to resolve their grievances. Mukta contested University Senate elections and 3 candidates could win the election. Initiatives are taken by Mukta elected members and are working for the benefit of teachers. Team Mukta is active not only in helping and supporting teachers, but also in educating and training them. Hence, Mukta has initiated to conduct the seminar since the first lockdown. 13 webinars are conducted in innovative topics, and we received a great response from more than 2,000 teachers representing more than 100 universities of India and abroad. Within few days, the technology is developed to bring the teachers all over the world to the one platform to educate and to train them. Now, Mukta team is helping institutions and universities by providing technical support to conduct the webinars and FDP. As an outcome, 18 such webinars and FDPs, national as well as international, are jointly conducted by Mukta. Mukta is registered and affiliated to ABRSM, Akhil Bharatiya Rashtriya Shikshik Mahasangh. And I'm proud and privileged to announce that our General Secretary, Professor Subhash Atole, now has been the part of Media Coordinating Committee of ABRSM all over India, Delhi. We request all the teachers to go to the website newly being created for the further information of our programs and all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ma'am, please take over the charge of the session.
Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. We hope this association continues to grow and its work continues to flourish. Before we move on to the introduction of our resource person, I would like to make two announcements. One, participants, please put up questions related to the session in the Telegram group. Second, feedback link will be shared with you at the end of the session on the Telegram group only. Now, I request CA Gunwant Rai Rat sir to introduce our esteemed resource person. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Gunwant sir, please continue.
Good morning, one and all. Today, this task of introducing our guest and speaker is a great privilege. I know this one is difficult, but the thought that she is a woman of virtue and simplicity, I feel elated to introduce her to everyone present. If one takes a closer look at the alchemy of our guest, two different virtues pop up. Besides perseverance and hard work, these are pioneering spirit and willingness. Dr. Rita is a multifaceted personality. She's a TEDx speaker, teacher, author, growth strategist, and coach. She's also an international keynote speaker. She's a thorough academician, having many educational qualifications at her credit. She's a chartered accountant, secured 32nd rank in India in final CA, PhD in finance from IIT Mumbai, a law graduate, and a holder of a triple master's degree, that is MCOM, MBA in HR, and MPhil. She has various books and research paper publications in international journals. She is recipient of Outstanding Research Paper Award at the conference at IICM, and her research paper got selected at international conference at Harvard, USA. She is an author of the upcoming book Superwoman Unleashed. She is a director at Samru Entertainment Private Limited, executive director of Y Center, and the founder and the director of the Crest Education. She is also a visiting faculty at IIM Indore. She has wide experience in education and training for last 28 years in the area of finance and transformation. She has conducted training sessions for 20 plus corporates and organizations, including CRISIL, LIC, Team Global, Society General, ICAI, IIT Mumbai and Delhi, and IIM Indore, etc. Our speaker today is the living idiom of a guru whose mission is to transform 1 lakh people and unleash the superpower in them for exponential growth. Thank you, Dr. Rita, for sparing your valuable time to guide us. I now humbly request Dr. Rita to start the session. Over to Dr. Rita.
Thank you so much, Gunwan. Good morning, all the students, teachers, principals, parents, all of those viewers who are watching this. And thank you, the entire panel, for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to talk to you all about how do we manage during difficult times. So I'm going to share my screen. One second. Yeah. Is my screen visible to you? Okay. So how do we pace up with difficult times and we discover the power in us? Now, the most important thing for all of us today, for last couple of months, we are in lockdown situation and we are not aware about what's going to happen in future. Now, times like this, uncertainty actually is a catalyst to help you find something much, much bigger in you. Now, I'll quickly tell a little bit about my life story so that you can understand something out of this. And I request all the dignitaries to keep yourself on mute so that there's no background noise. Okay. So, while I was in my 12th standard, a friend of mine said that if we give CA exam now, we will save 3 years and we can do foundation along with 12. And I had no idea why I'm going to do CA. In fact, my dad was a lawyer and I always wanted to do law. But for some reason, because my friends told me, I got enrolled into foundation course. Now, when I got enrolled into foundation course, I prepared for it. I won't say I didn't prepare for it, but that was not my burning desire. And therefore, when the results came in, I failed. Now, I was a topper in my school and I failed, and my life's first failure there. And I realized that I'm not a CA material. Anyways, I made a decision that maybe I should not be a chartered accountant. I should do only law. Time passed. I completed my graduation with first class. In those times was rare. And I was one of those four students in my entire college of 2000 people who got first class. And because I got first class, I got a little more ambitious. And then again, life took a turn and I again came into CA as a profession. I started doing my CA. I cleared my intermediate exam also. I was doing my law simultaneously. I cleared my first year law also. Now comes the final race, and that is CA final examination. And now, in the month of August, almost 4 months before my exam, my dad says, Rita, when you give this exam, after the exam, we will get you married. And 23 years girl at that point of time, back then, marriage is the only normal thing that is going to happen for a middle class Kachi family. I said, but what if I fail? Because my reference to context was that failure which happened in my life. Anyways, my dad said one statement which changed my life. And that statement was that if you fail, your in-laws will choose and decide whether you can give exam or not. And for me, that was a big trigger in my life. I said, if somebody else is going to make a decision about my 3 years of effort that I have put in and my future, I think that's not done. And from August onwards till November, I doubled my game up. I put in not 100%, maybe 200%. I worked day in and day out, morning to evening, 14 hours, 16 hours. I don't know what I did, but my brain said, Rita, you got to take charge of your life. And with that trigger, I gave my exam. I prepared for my exam. When the results came in, I was not only passed, I got 32nd rank in CA final. Now, why am I sharing this story with all of you? The reason I'm sharing this story with all of you is, the Rita who gave exam in 12th standard and the Rita who gave exam for her CA final were physically the same. But what was different is the attitude, the mindset. And that Rita who was giving exam casually, where 15% result was possible, failed, and the Rita who was intentionally giving exam to pass no matter what, with 0.5% result of passing and 0.001% probability of getting a rank, stood there. Now, the message I want to share out of this story is, we are who we think we are. So each and every one of you, you have the power. The question is, I'm going to make an attempt today to help you discover that power in you and forget COVID-19. Any difficult time that you may come across in your life, you can pace up with that if you are being able to access that power within you. So, what I'm going to be doing is, throughout this presentation, throughout this talk, I'm going to help you discover something which is already there in you, and whatever is not there can be inculcated. So, let me share something with you. You know, all of us know about the iceberg phenomena. Is visible above sea level. 90% of the iceberg is below the sea level. A huge ship goes into the ocean and they see iceberg. If they value iceberg, or if they judge iceberg by based on what is above sea level, they are going to get crashed, and you know what happens then. This is exactly what happens in our life. In our life, what is visible above sea level, 10%, and what is not visible is 90%. Now, what is that which is visible and what is that which is not visible? The visibility, what we can see for anybody in life, is the knowledge, skills. That 10% visibility is what you can see, that how much somebody has studied, what kind of person that is, does he know computers, does he know this. So all your knowledge and skills are 10%, and everybody can see that. Others are aware about it. What people are not aware about it, and a lot of times we ourselves are not aware about it, is our attitude. And the best part is, not only this attitude forms 90% of who we are, it actually also includes our values, standards, judgments, the motives, the ethics, the beliefs, and most important thing, all of this impact our behavior. So, a lot of time in life, we look at the behavior of somebody and we say, why did he do this? I never expected him to do this. I never thought he will do this. But the question is, it did not come from knowledge and skills. It came from attitude of who you are. So if you have an attitude which is an attitude of a go-getter, if you have an attitude of no matter what, I will do it. If you have an attitude of, I'm going to make it happen, my dreams are important, then but natural your behaviors will be different. Let's take a story. Let's think about a student who is in current time sitting at home in COVID-19, waiting for his exams. Maybe he's a final year student and the university exams are pending, not aware when the exams are going to be, whiling away time, getting bored in this lockdown, and getting also frustrated. This is one student, because his attitude is, I'm going to wait for what happens to me. Let's talk about another student. Against this student, there is another student. What this student does is, he's not just waiting for university exams to happen. That's going to happen when it's happened. University is going to make an announcement. Any which ways I will prepare, I will prepare. How can I make most of this time? This student does an online program on anything. He sharpens his skills. He has an attitude of facing future. He has an attitude of being an achiever. He is the person who's not whiling away time. He's not the person who gets bored. Maybe he takes up something new. Maybe he learns a new skill. Could be his passion. Could be a skill that will help him tomorrow to get into the job market easily. Maybe he's reading books. He's planned his day. He doesn't get up 11 o'clock in the morning, gets up early in the morning, does his exercise, reads well, does online programs, studies well, prepares for his future. You know why? Because he knows that he will make his future. How many of us wait for future to happen to us? Now, if you are one of those who's waiting for future to happen to you, then trust me, what is happening is it may not happen. You are allowing your life in hands of somebody else. The point I want to make is, what is your attitude? What is your future? What is it that you really want to achieve in your life? A lot of people think about what is there on the surface, which we can observe, which is the behavior. But what is there below surface is your attitude, which is also coupled with your knowledge, which turns into wisdom, and your skills. Now, if I think in terms of competency, and if I think that I need to be prepared for future, I may need certain competencies, and these competencies can take different forms. The form could be knowledge, attitude, skills, and the characteristics of who I am is going to be based on my motive, my values, my trait, and my self concept. So before I go ahead, let me just elaborate little on each of this, because they are very, very important for us. A lot of time we focus more on nothing but knowledge we get. Now, by knowledge, I don't mean degrees. By knowledge, what I mean is the kind of what I would say. Uh, 1 minute, just 1 second. What I mean is how much of information you have, which can be culminated into your wisdom. So knowledge just doesn't mean bookish knowledge. Knowledge just does not mean degrees. Knowledge just does not mean, I know how to do this. No. Knowledge also means when you have some knowledge about something, now you practice it more, such that you can actually master the skill. So when you convert your knowledge, practice it well, and master it, you actually become a person who has knowledge gone into subconscious. See, there are 4 levels of learning. And each one of us, we pass from this levels of learning. Let's just quickly understand which are these levels, so that you understand knowledge. The first level is uh, unconscious unknown, which means you are not even knowing what you don't know. For example, a child who is 2 years old, who sees somebody riding a bicycle, thinks it's easy to ride a bicycle. He doesn't even know that he does not know how to ride a bicycle, right? Now, the next level of knowledge is unconscious but unknown, has now changed to conscious unknown, which means from the level 1, I don't even know that I don't know, to I have moved into, now I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know how to ride a bicycle. This is your level 2. Now, this level 2 is very, very important. This is your level of awareness. This is your level of waking up. At this level, you decide, oh, I must do this. I don't know how to ride a bicycle. I don't know how to do programming. I don't know how to have digital marketing done. I have no idea how to appear for interview. What if I fail? So now, from conscious unknown, now you want to move to the next level, which is conscious known, which is I know that I know. Now, how do you move from level 2 to level 3? You will have to go and enroll into the class, or learn from somebody. Somebody teaches you cycling. Somebody teaches you computer skills. Somebody teaches you maybe digital marketing, right? And now you're moved from level 2 to level 3. So from conscious unknown, you're moved it to conscious known. which means you learn cycling, you learned uh, computer skills, you learned maybe digital marketing, and so on and so forth. Now the next level comes, and that is level 4. And what is that level 4? That level 4 is conscious unknown, which means that conscious means I know, I don't even need to know. It's known, which means that from level 3 to level 4, you have achieved a mastery. You have practiced it so much that it is at your unconscious level, but it has become part of you. Okay, let me illustrate it with an example. You know, if you have learned driving ever, let's say car driving, when you initially begin driving car, it's very tough. You are you're scared, you have no idea, you are trying to understand where is the clutch, where is the gear, where is do I see into rear mirror, do I see into side mirror, and all of that is happening with you. And the way you drive is like this. So first of all, you're level 1, you don't even know that you don't know car driving where you are a child. Then you realize someday that I don't know how to drive a car, and now you want to move to learning car. So from level 2 to level 3, you have gone by going to a driving car driving lesson, or whatever way somebody taught you. Now level 3 is when you have started learning and you have learned. But when you are a beginner and when you have learned, you know, the way you drive car in level 3 is like this. You are conscious, you are knowing, but you're so conscious, you're scared. However, guess, if you have been driving car for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever number of years, and you have achieved a mastery in driving car, now what happens? You know what? While driving car, you can relax, you can play your music. I don't agree, but people talk on the phone also. Now you are not necessary for you to be so conscious, because the entire knowledge has gone into your subconscious and it happens automatic. Now if you are able to have your knowledge in autopilot mode, that means you have achieved mastery. Let me take one more example for illustrating this, because this is the most important aspect of our life. You know, as a child, where our mom first time taught us how to brush our teeth, and you know, we were struggling. You know, maybe paste idhar lag gaya, udhar lag gaya. Maybe, you know, the paste got stuck here and there. Maybe the paste went out. We didn't know how to hold our brush, and we were taking efforts. Once we learned it, now we were brushing. We were bored, we were tired. Sometimes we were, you know, telling no to our mom, and mom would nag, and we had to brush. But we were conscious. And as we slowly and gradually grew, that brushing teeth has become part of our life, part of our system. Some days you get up, you've brushed your teeth, and you're not even aware that you've brushed your teeth. It has happened automatically. Some people sometimes, you know, just imagine, it might have happened to few of you. You know, sometimes you think, Aj, did I brush today? Now, if that has happened, that means that your knowledge has gone into a level of wisdom, into a level of mastery, into a level of perfecting. And it is so much into your blood that you don't need to think about it anymore. Now, what am I talking about? I am talking about, you know, studying, educating, acquiring skills is all very, very important. But it's very important to have an attitude of obtaining mastery onto anything you do. And the only way to achieve mastery is when you practice. You know, it reminds me of one story. I will just share a story with you. Excuse me. There is this person who goes to a master to learn judo. The master teaches him a move. Now, days pass, and master is teaching him only one move. and master is telling him to practice that move. This guy gets bored. He's saying, why master is not teaching me any other move? Months pass. Still master tells him to practice only those moves. Only that one move. He has surrendered to his master and he is trusting his master. But his mind is saying, why master is not teaching me any other moves? Master says, trust me, I know the best. Months pass, years pass. This guy has mastered the move. One fine day, master tells him, you are going for the tournament. He goes for the tournament, very scared. You know why he was very scared? He didn't have a left arm. He was a person with only one arm and with one move that he had mastered. He had no idea how he is going to play in that tournament or even think about winning. Goes into one tournament, he wins. Goes into the next, he wins. He doesn't understand anything. He has no idea what is happening to him. He looks at his master and he's surprised and he says, Master, how is it possible? I know only one move. Master says, trust me, I know it. There is another tournament and the opponent is very, very strong. Opponent knows so many moves and is a well-renowned person in the martial art. Now this guy is scared. He thinks about his disability and knowing only one move. And master says, don't worry, trust me. I know you can win. Go and do your best. This guy is playing. There comes a time where, he gets a chance and he does his final move, which is the only move he knew. And bang, the opponent is down. And this guy wins. This guy comes to his master and asks one question. Says, Master, I don't have even my left hand. I didn't knew any other moves. I knew only one move. How is it humanly possible for me to win against a mighty person who knows so much? I don't understand. Please explain. Master smiles at him and master tells him, you have perfected this move totally. But he says, I understand that I have perfected this move. So what? Why couldn't he break my move or counterfeit my move? And at that point of time, master says, the only way, to defend this move is by holding you with the left arm and pushing you down. But since you don't have left arm, he can't hold you with left arm and push you down. You know what? The moral of the story is his biggest weakness got converted into biggest strength by mastering only one move. If in our life we have our passion, our skill, our that fire in your belly about something, can you master it in a way like day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, such that nobody can actually stop you from growing? It's good to be jack of all, but you need to be master of one. And that mastery, when you achieve like an expert mastery, life is not going to be same, because you will be at the top, whatever be that area. Be it you are a marketer, be it you are a singer, be it you are a dancer, you whatever skill you want to master, or your profession that you want to be. If you are a chartered accountant, I'm a chartered accountant. Have you mastered finance? I am a speaker. I have been a teacher for 27 years. I mastered my art of speaking and connecting to people. Day in and day out, day in and day out, all I would be doing is talking to people, presenting, talking to people, presenting. If I continue to master, there would be some time where I've come on the top. How many of you have thought about life like that? one thing that you want to do lifelong, whatever that can be. Zakir Hussain is Zakir Hussain because nobody else can play the way he plays. They do hours and hours of riyaz. And that mastery, when you achieve, you become the best. So these are tough times and you are in lockdown. But can you convert this weakness into a strength by finding out what is it that you would really love to do? What kind of profession you want to be in? What kind of mastery you want to achieve? What kind of job you want to do? And for that, all that you need, your skill, your knowledge, can you master it now? All other characteristics that we all have, which is our motives, our values, our trait, our self concept, they're all part of us. They're all part of our attitude. You know, I come across a lot of people day in and day out. I coach, you know, thousands of people. I have coached more than 90,000 plus people. I am on a mission to impact 1 million plus people. I realize one thing: the most important missing element for anybody in their life is their belief in themselves. They play small. If you are going to play small in your life, you are never going to win a bigger game. The reason is your game itself is small. Now, if your game is going to be small, then you can't play big victory. The victories will also be small. So, a lot of us think about success is nothing but then I achieve success and then I'm going to be happy. Of course, hard work is important. As a student, if I would have not put that 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours for my CA final examination, I would have not achieved success. However, the myth that I can be only happy when I get success is a huge problem. You don't need to be happy a reason. You don't need a reason to be happy. You can be happy and then put in as much effort as you can to be successful. So the actual equation of success is you be happy about doing what you want to do. And clear my CA exam no matter what, and not cribbing and complaining, by making a choice, being happy about it, that I am going to be doing this. And then I put in a lot of hard work, and then I achieved my success. So happiness is the key. Then move ahead with your hard work and then go ahead with success. Subhash sir, आपका audio on है. Can you mute yourself, please? Where you end up in life is not determined by where you start. Now, this is very, very important. A lot of time I have come across people who say that if only I was in a big city. Today you might be watching this from anywhere, and I really congratulate this entire panel, the SNTT University College, the Mukta, and all the people involved for creating this for people who are benefiting out of this. Today you might be in a small city, in some rural area, maybe somewhere in a village, and you are thinking that because I am here, or because I am living here, or because my financial situations are here, or because my parents are not educated, or because that's why I cannot grow, then that's a myth. Because where you end up in life is not determined where you start. Wherever you are, your beginning is now. Make a choice. If I would have thought, there was a colleague of mine who gave 12th standard along with 12th standard foundation course, and he cleared his foundation course, and while we were in our graduation BCom, he already cleared his final CA examination. Now, if I would have thought that he's already gone ahead of me, I've lost 3 years. Trust me, I would have never ever been a chartered accountant. Where you end up in life does not depend on where you start from. Starting can be today. You know, some of you might be thinking, oh, I lost so many days into lockdown, I wish I would have done something. No matter, today you can begin, because where you're going to end up does not depend on where you start. You know, it reminds me of Dhirubhai Ambani, 62 years age, somebody who's filling petrol at a gas station and having a vision that I will create my own empire. And he achieved it. Age does not matter, qualification does not matter. Karsanbhai Patel, coming from a very rural place, and he used to go on his cycle and sell powder, and today he's a huge name. Narayan Murthy, coming from a very humble background, his wife's 10,000 worth of all gold and all he put and started his company. Where is Infosys today? All the success stories, if you think about anybody that has been successful, success doesn't come overnight. You got to work for it, you got to start. And when do you start? There is no better time than today. If you think, I wish I would have done it yesterday, yeah, good if you would have done it yesterday. But then if you don't do today, tomorrow you will think, I wish I would have done it yesterday, right? So start today, wherever you are. The most important thing is, all of us know one thing, that we have only 24 hours in our kitty. Time is like a bank. Every day morning in our account, God adds in 86,400 seconds every early morning. 12 morning, midnight, 86,400 seconds added to your bank account. Whatever you use, you use. Whatever you don't use, delete it. Next day, new 86,400. And this is the kind of scenario. Imagine 86,400 were the rupees, and every day morning you were credited by 86,400 rupees, and you have to use them. And if you don't use them, it will get deleted. What would you do? You'll use every penny, right? Because whatever unused is going to be deleted. Why don't you do that with time? Because whatever time you don't use is deleted. That day is gone. Each one of us, we have 24 hours. Then how come some people are able to do so many things, and some people crib and complain that I don't have time? You know why? It's the attitude. It's the attitude, how you use your time. So, the current situation taught us one thing, and that is change is inevitable. A lot of people are, inflexible or rigid to accept change. One of the things that is most important in life is accepting that change is going to happen. So whenever change happens, we have an option to stand outside, crib, complain, resist it, do nothing about it, or embrace the change and move on, find different ways of doing things. So many schools have started their online curriculum. What did they do? They didn't wait for a problem to get resolved by an external factor. They said, okay, this has happened. Now we need to educate our children. How do we do that? So the online school started. So when we resist, it only makes us frustrated. Some of you have experienced this in your life. You've had changes happening in your life. Maybe the curriculum got changed, maybe the system of examination got changed. Something or the other in your life has always got changed. But what is your attitude towards the change? Do you embrace the change, or do you resist it? Now, if you are a kind of a person who embrace the change, then sky is the limit. It reminds me of one more story. I'm sorry, I'm going to share a lot of stories because I believe we all learn from stories. And I'm a big storyteller because I think stories connect us most. So I'm going to share a very beautiful story about one person. Her name is Arunima Sinha. Arunima Sinha had a dream, and her dream was to climb Mount Everest. The problem was that she didn't have one leg. Now, when people like you and me, with all the resources, with all what I would say, physically fit, we don't even think about climbing Mount Everest. Imagine somebody with clutches thinking about climbing Mount Everest. But it's the attitude of winning, attitude of achieving that didn't let her go. She kept on and on and on. And you know what? She finally climbed Mount Everest. Arunima Sinha became the first person to climb Mount Everest who had, physical disability. And she gave us a hope. She gave us an idea. She gave us an attitude that if she can climb Mount Everest with having a difficulty in her legs, then I think, we can do anything in our life. So when the change happens, embrace it, move forward, do whatever you want to do, achieve your dreams because they are very, very important. You know, it's very important for us to know what is the code of life. And I know there are only two most important things that are very, very important for fulfilling your dreams. First is your choice, and second is the commitment to this choice. What did Arunima Sinha did? She made a choice. She made a choice that even if I don't have physical fitness, I'm still going to achieve my dreams no matter what. Right? Now, if she would have thought that I am not going to think about climbing Mount Everest, let me give it up, I will let go, then it would have never happened. So, everything in your life is a reflection of a choice we make. If you want a different result, you will have to make a different choice. So, when you think that I want to do something, I want to achieve something, you must make a choice. Now, the problem is we all want different result, but we are not choosing it. And the choice alone is not important. As I told you earlier, it's very important that you commit to that choice. And if you don't commit that to that choice, things are not going to happen. One of the most important thing people ask is, how do I balance my life? What is work life balance and how do we get it? It's not a rocket science at all. Okay, so how do I get my work life balance? I'll just show you one cartoon. Yeah, here is somebody who says, I'm afraid you will have to stay late night because I want you to attend this talk on work life balance. We all talk about work life balance, and what happens is life shows up, things happen. And it's all about two axes. On one hand, you love your life, and on another hand, you love your job. And when both are high is where you will achieve work life balance, and you have to keep juggling. Now, for you to love your job, you must be passionate about it. You must have made that choice. You must be committed to it. Two things you remember always: make a choice and be committed to it. I was at a conference at Bahrain. It was an international conference. The topmost industrialists were speakers, while I was also a speaker with 16 of them, and CEOs and VPs, and so on and so forth. And there was one person there. His name is Mr. R.K. Singh. And he does not have both his legs. He's from army. He was fighting a war, and in the war, a bomb, Indo-Pakistan war was going on, and a bomb fell very close to him, and the entire, the scrape, went into his body. He was unconscious. His both legs had to be amputated, and multiple operations, because his ribs and everywhere the glass had gone, and so on and so forth. This guy was bedridden. He couldn't even dream of walking. Slowly and gradually, you know, he could just get up. His back was gone. Doctor said he can't even move. But he was clear he's going to move. He was determined here. And he kept on doing. He used to get up from his bed and he would bleed from both his knees. His knees, both up below knees, nothing is there. And he would bleed, but he was clear he wants to walk. He wants to walk. And he kept on, he kept on, he kept on until one day he started walking slowly, steps, step by step. He would walk with clutches. Then somebody gifted him artificial legs, and one leg is fine, one leg is amputated, not both legs. I'm sorry, my mistake. Then one leg, uh, artificial leg was given to him, gifted by someone. Started wearing that, started walking. Now this leg was meant only for walking, but now he had a dream, and he had a dream to run marathon. And when he said to someone that he wants to run marathon, people ridiculed him. People laughed at him. People said, you can't even walk, forget about marathon. He continued. Just to cut the story short, he went through a lot of ups and downs in his life. But the point is, this guy was bleeding at times when he would run. And he's shown us the pictures where he had his what you call his leg, his clothes were all blood, and he's just completed 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and all. Today, he runs marathon. And not only he runs marathon, Mr. RV Singh is also the first paraplegic to run marathon, and he inspires other people to run marathon. Now, what does it tell us? It tells us to make a choice and having commitment to that choice. If we are committed, anything can be possible. But for you to commit that triangle, what you see, love your job being highest and love your life being highest, is very important. If you are going to love what you do, if you are passionate about what you do, and you love doing what you do, and you are happy from within, success is bound to happen. Because what happens, we have all these quadrangles in our life. We have family, we have friends, we have work, we have ourselves. But if we are not going to put all the quadrangles enough attention, we'll be burnt out. Like they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You have to keep on balancing your life. And this will happen only when you use that 86,400 seconds beautifully. Investing in yourself is very, very important. How many of you invest in your own self so that you are better equipped, so that you learn new skills, so that you have better attitude? If you are not going to work on your attitude, trust me, you cannot be winner. The one single key to your growth is change in your attitude. If your attitude is right, you will make commitment, you will do hard work, you will make right choices, you will feel happy about yourself, you'll do whatever it takes. So these are the three most important things: yourself, work, and your relationship. Focus on all of them. Life is not about where you go, but it is about what you do. A lot of times we think about the destination. I want to reach there. I've come across a lot of business owners, CEOs. I coach CEOs, business owners, students, teachers, parents. And sometimes I hear them say many of them. And that is, one day I'm going to retire, I'll go on my farmhouse, I'll be traveling, I will be doing this, and that day I'll be happy. Hello, there is no other day for happiness. It's not that destination where you are supposed to reach. It is the journey to that destination which is very, very important. So where you are going is not so important, but every moment, what are you doing is very, very important. And but the problem is, whatever we want to do in our life, unfortunately, our environment is such that we get influenced by people around us. You know, somebody is doing well. Wow, he's feeling happy about it. And 10 people around him will say, don't do it. You can't do it. You know, how many of you know story about story of this boy called Ritesh Agarwal? He is India's youngest billionaire in the world represented, and he's in his 30s. He's the owner of Oyo Rooms, comes from Delhi. And, you know, if you read his story, he is a person who comes from a very small place, had no resources, had no formal education. In fact, he says that, you know, I only knew that I want to do something, and I had no idea how to do it. And he didn't listen to other people. He went on and on and on. He set up Oyo Rooms. He found out that, you know, there are a lot of hotels around, but they are not occupied, and on the other hand, there are people who want to travel. So he found a problem in the society, and he said, I'm going to provide a solution to it. Started with a very humble beginning. He says, I used to go to hotels and request them, and, you know, so many people used to turn me down, but I didn't give up. You know, the reason he didn't give up is because of that journey was important for him. He knew where he was going, of course, but that journey, what he's doing, kept on doing, kept on doing, kept on doing. And today, this guy is the billionaire, the youngest billionaire from India, an entrepreneur, has changed the equation of the market and has given hopes to so many young people. At age 30, in 2 to 4 years' time, if he can do it, anybody can do it, right? And there are so many success stories, but when I listen to any of these success stories, or I read about any of these success stories, you know, I start searching what are the ingredients of success. And the ingredients of success invariably have attitude, invariably have the joy, happiness, doing right things at the right time, keeping focus. So I'll tell you a small story about a frog. This is a tiny story about a frog. Once there was a bunch of tiny frogs, and they decided to do a running competition. And the goal was to reach the tower. There was a huge crowd to cheer the contestants, and the race starts. No one actually believed that that tiny frog can reach the top of the tower. You know, you were listening statements like it's too difficult, they are never going to make it, or there is no chance that they will succeed, the tower is too high. And the tiny frogs started collapsing one after the other. There were few who were still in that fresh tempo, climbing higher and higher. But from the crowd, there was a constant talking. It's too difficult. You can't reach there. You are a frog. No one can reach there. There were more frogs who got tired. They gave up. But there was one frog who continued higher and higher. He wouldn't give up. At the end, when everybody else had given up, except this one tiny frog, who, after this very big of effort, decided to climb higher and higher. All the other tiny frogs wanted to know how this one frog managed to do it. And one of the contestants asked him how he was the only one who found that strength to reach that goal. And you know what was the revelation for that person? It turned out that that tiny frog, the winner, was deaf. The moral of the story is you have your dreams, you have your desires, you are doing something, and then sometimes people around you, environment would tell you, don't do this, you can't be successful, times are tough, you can't do it. And at that time, you listen to them and you give up. But if you want to be a winner, you will have to learn to be deaf to the negativity, deaf to the pessimism, because they take away the most wonderful thing out of you, and that is your dream. The dream, your wishes. If you don't believe in your dreams, who else will believe? I have a lot of YouTube videos, and I would recommend you to watch my YouTube videos on my channel, Dr. Rita Shah. And one of the videos speaks about DNA of success. And I'll share that secret with you. D stands for your dream. Have that dream that is, you know, fire in you, that dream that does not allow you to sleep. N stands for nurturing your dreams, creating environment, attitude, knowledge, skills, working hard, doing whatever it takes. And A stands for action, taking action every single day. Do you have a system where you are pushed into believing your dreams? You are pushed into nurturing into your dreams. You are pushed into taking actions. Small actions. I call it as success accelerator. That's my success system, which I teach students. If you have that kind of system and an implementation of that system, where every single day you believe in your dreams and you are taking actions, you know, you will be a successful person. It's very important to feel confident. A lot of people say, and especially student category say, I don't feel confident. What do you mean by I don't feel confident? Confident only means that you know who you are, what potential you have, and what you can do. Now, if you know who you are, if you know the potentials you have, and you know what you can do, you start believing in yourself, and you believe that you can do it, then you will be confident. The problem is, lot of people do not believe they can do it because the self image is very small. They don't think they have the potential to become Ritesh Agarwal. They don't think they are the people who can reach that top. They don't think I can do anything that I desire. They think too small about themselves. And I'm saying you have all the power that universe needs for you to be successful. But it is very important that you remind yourself that you have that potential of doing and achieving whatever you want in your life. Because if you are not going to be doing that, who else will believe in you? Because Aristotle said one thing. He said, we are what we repeatedly do. And that was the first thing which I told you earlier. Anything that you do ongoingly, again and again and again and again, you achieve mastery and you become that. So anytime when you are in difficult situation and you think, I can't do it or I don't have confidence, ask yourself these 5 questions. Do I know who I am? Do I know what is my potential? Do I know what I want to do? Can I believe in myself? And can I do whatever it takes? If all of these ingredients are present, confidence is there in you. In fact, all of you have confidence. It's only that you, in certain situations, do not think that you can do it. And then the moment your mind says, no, you can't do it, your confidence is like that balloon. You know, that balloon which is full of air? And you're like, how, I'll do it. And then, ping, somebody pings that balloon by saying, no, no, you can't do it. Or your own self, you have this one constant chatter happening in your mind, that internal chatter box, which says, no, no, you cannot do it. तुझसे नहीं होगा. You can't do it. Now, if you can't do it, who will do it? If you have come here, you've come here for a mission. If APJ Abdul Kalam thought that I am a child of a fisherman and I can't do anything, could he have become such a great person? Could he have become such a great human being, such a visionary who led nation institutes like ISRO and created a history for India, right? So it's all in here. Your mindset. Work on your mindset. Do whatever it takes. The most important thing, the only reason that bumblebee can fly is because no one told that it cannot. You know, birds. It's so beautiful. What birds do is when the baby bird is small and strong enough to fly, the mother bird pushes the baby bird. And once the mother bird has pushed the baby bird, now baby bird is out in the world. And now to survive, it opens up its wings and it flies. If you are wanting to become big, achieve your dreams, you got to get into the world. You get to get into the water. You got to open your wings, open your arms, start swimming. Because you know what? That's all that matters. So, before I end, I want you to write this down in your notebook that I choose to make the rest of my life as the best of my life. I just quickly will wrap up, sum up. 10% is behavior, 90% is your attitude, knowledge, skills, values, judgments, all of that. The iceberg phenomena. Remember? That 90% is what you got to work on. Another thing I spoke about is 4 levels of knowledge: unconscious unknown, conscious unknown, conscious known to unconscious known. In level 2 is the awareness, level 3 is learning, level 4 is mastery. Life is all in being master. Achieve mastery. Practice, practice, practice. That's what very important. Embrace change. Change is happening. Accept it and find new ways of doing things. Be happy, then do hard work, and then achieve success. Use your time wisely. 400 rupees every morning, remember that. How you put that money will decide how you will become what you become. Work-life balance. Manage all areas of your life. Crack the code of life. Make a choice and a commitment to that choice. And I shared so many stories with you. This will be available on YouTube, of course, and you can replay this and see for yourself. But very important thing, remember 2 things in your life: your choices and your commitment to that choices. No, not giving up. Remember the frog story. Don't listen to what other people say. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams. The DNA of success: dreams, nurturing dreams, and achieving dreams through tiny actions. I do a program called a Success Accelerator, and that Success Accelerator is nothing but helping you discover that attitude, that action path, and achieve anything in your life. Go ahead and take action in your life. That's very important. Being confident is all about who you are. We are what we believe to be. And finally, believe anything is possible and make right choices. And today you decide, I choose to make rest of my life as the best of my life. Thank you so much. Best wishes to all of you. If you have any queries, you can write to me on email superyouunleashed, SUPERYOU unleashed, UNLEASHED @gmail.com. I also have a Telegram group for success, t.me/success group. You can join on Telegram group. I share a lot of wisdom there and learnings there. And if you want to know more about anything, you have any questions, I'm open to questions now. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I'm open to questions. So I'll stop my screen share here and we'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Rita ma'am. You have indeed opened doors to a lot of reflection and pushed us to think differently. Now, we move on to the question answer session, for which I invite Dr. Aarti Verma from the Department of Accountancy. Over to you, Dr. Aarti.
Good afternoon, one and all. Respected dignitaries, principal, speaker, and my dear participants, myself, Aarti Verma from Srimati P.N. Doshi College is here to moderate question answer session. Now, the session was very apt and informative. It is applicable to our current COVID situation, 2019. Now, I begin with the first question. It is by Dr. Shika. She have asked, how can we balance work and family in this scenario when lot of things distract us from work at home?
Could you repeat the name of the person? I missed the name.
Dr. Shika.
Yeah, Dr. Shika. So I'm sure, Dr. Shika, since you're talking about family and work, maybe you're married, you have children, and this is one story about a lot of women which find very difficult to manage work and personal life. But one thing that I always tell people, and that is, we all as women, we do our roles. We are mother, we are daughter, we are wife, we are sisters. What we forget is we being our own self. The problem is because we don't put ourselves in that triangle or quadrangle anywhere. We are not important, and we go on doing everything for everyone, and then we have burnt out. One of the biggest challenge which comes to women is because of one trait, and that is independence. A lot of women have this trait of independence, and if you are educated and qualified with doctorate, I'm sure you would be like me, an independent lady. Now the problem with independence is that we want to do everything ourselves, and when you want to do everything yourself and you don't seek support from people, you find a lot of pressure there. And that is why work-life balance goes on for a toss. Now, one of the most important thing for work-life balance is making right choices. Deciding what's important and what's not important. It's okay if the house is messy. We understand in current situation, we don't have our mates coming in, maybe our cooks are not coming, we are doing everything ourselves. Did we attempt, and if not, we can still attempt, where we can involve the entire family member, all the family members, and divide the work. And we say that, it's a game. In my house, we played like a game. So for us, doing all the work, household chores is a game. So my son, he's very young, 8-year-old. He will be doing something. My daughter will be doing something. My husband will be doing something. I'll be doing something. What happens is I don't have to do 4 times of work. It's divided into 4 parts. Now, it may be that they'll not exactly do 25%. Maybe my son will do only 10%, right? Because he's too small. But then the question is, even that 10% taken off from me. Another thing is managing your time. Find out your most productive times. You should have that time in your day where that time is fully dedicated to work. Now, when you create these kind of time packets, if you have 4-5 hours requirement, you will have to create 1 hour or 2 hours of time slots. Now, during that time packet, nobody disturbs you. Now, it could be early morning. I get up very early morning nowadays. I used to not, but now I have made a choice. And for last couple of months, I get up very early morning. So I get up by around 5 o'clock, 5:30 maximum, and I do whatever I need to do. So do you have those productive hours, the power hour, as I call, and do you have a power of, your structure around you, your family members support? And some things, let it go. Some cupboards you did not do, it's okay. Some vessels you could not clean, you dumped it and left it for next day, it's okay. It's okay to be untidy, it's okay to be messy sometimes, but nurture your own self.
Thank
By
you,
the
ma'am.
way, just to add there, one of the program which I do is Superwoman Unleashed. And when I ask people, what do you think is Superwoman trait or qualities? And one of the typical answer that I get is one who can do everything without frustration, without anger and all. And I say that, no, that's not true, because frustration will happen, anger will happen. How do you deal with it is very important. So each one of you, you are superwoman. The question is, do you allow that superwoman to come out, or do you let your mind ride you as per the choices that the society made for you or the family made for you? Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Very beautifully explained. That second question is from Miss Kiran Singh. She have asked, how can we change the habit of postponing things?
So procrastination, very common. Now, why does someone procrastinate? It reminds me, Arti, of that kind of scene where, as a child, when mom would tell me, you have to get up early in the morning because
Yes.
7 o'clock is the school. And, I used to find it so strenuous to get up in the morning, because I am a night owl. We all have our body clock. So some of us are early birds, some of us are night owl, and I was a night owl. So I could study till 3 in the night, but I could never get up at 5 in the morning. And my early morning school or some class or something, and they would bring nightmare to me. However, the day I had my school picnic and I was to reach at 7 o'clock in school, I would get up even before the alarm would ring. 5 o'clock, before my mother even walks in, I am up and ready. And you know why? Because that is what is my choice. So procrastination happens because you are not choosing that thing. That's not important for you. Now, if it is not important for you, then you are going to keep on pushing it. Now, the reason why something is not important for you is because you have not found that why. There's one video I have on my YouTube channel. I highly recommend to see, which is how is a trap. What happens is, for a lot of people, we get, suppose I'm writing a research paper. My research paper got accepted at Harvard. But before I started writing this, I still remember that day. And, I'm applying a research paper at Harvard University. What are my chances to get my paper selected at Harvard? And how am I going to do? I have this issue, that issue. My child was very small at that time. My child was 2 years old, and I'm having all these concerns with me. But one thing that pushed me was, I want to go and visit Harvard and be part of that institution, and this is my only chance in my life. And I said that I want my name to be associated with Harvard. Now, I have not studied at Harvard, but this is the only chance. And for me, Harvard is like Makkah of education. So my why was so strong. With that small baby, I have done whatever it took. I made that research paper, took, I don't know how many reviews I have done with my guide, with my colleagues, and my paper finally got selected. Now, the bottom line is, when your why is big, how gets managed. Many times in life, we all get stuck for how, and we don't think about why. So when you are procrastinating, means the why is not established. It's not important to you. So look at that thing. Suppose you want to exercise and you're procrastinating, then first find a good big reason for exercising. What is that big why? And once you establish that big why, then making choice and committing to that choice will be easy. So
Yes.
procrastination is just creating a big why, and procrastination will go away.
Yes. There are many number of students in our group who have joined today. So there is question from Miss Seema Gupta as to how can we choose appropriate career option.
So at this point of time, because we don't have so much time, we cannot get into all the career options. But I think yesterday there was one session which I had done with Navi Mumbai Vikasa Group on career option for CA specifically.
Okay.
And there is another video where I have done career options in commerce with SVGA. So they can go on Google, type my name on YouTube, type my name, Dr. Rita Shah. I name it as REETA, Dr. Rita Shah, plus career guidance. And there are multiple career guidance seminars of 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and they will get thing. One thing that I will give a shortcut is choose that career which you are passionate about and
Yes.
who you want to be. Don't think from this perspective of certificates and degree. Think about, once I become a doctor, a chartered accountant, an engineer, what I am going to be creating for the world and who I am going to be. So your career option should come from there. And what are those options? You can see, but be passionate about what you do, you will excel then.
The last question for the day, there are many n number of questions, but I can't go through all the questions. So the last question of the day, perception of the individuals depends on the attitude. How can we decorate our mental health website for boosting our attitude? This is by Dr. Indradeep Ghosh.
So I really thought that it has to be somebody who is very intellectual because of the play of words beautifully. I would say, very, very important thing in the beginning, I think Asha Menon ma'am said about being vulnerable. When we are more intellectual, right, we miss out on humility, uh, being humble, being vulnerable, being open to learning. The more knowledge we acquire, more responsibility we have to manage ourselves and not become egoistic and be humble. And how can you have an attitude is, if we are educators, if we are qualified professionals, then we must remember that we are here in this universe on a mission to contribute to universe in some way. And am I doing that? Now the only question that can give you all the solutions is, have I done something to forward somebody's life today? Have I done something to contribute to people's life in any way, by helping students, by maybe doing some kind acts in this COVID-19, when a lot of people have financial distress, they have income not there, maybe providing food, whatever way. But I have come on this universe for being a giver and not to receive. And when I be giver, I will receive from multiple sources. So if you have an attitude of giver and contributor, and higher qualified you are, more responsibility you have to give back to society.
Thank
And
you.
if you have any more questions, Aarti, what you can do is, if you can send me the question on my email ID, or
Sure.
all the students who have questions, please do connect to me on Telegram or on my email ID and send me the questions. I might take 2-3 days time to respond to all questions one by one, but I promise you I will respond all the questions.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your enlightened talk, and very motivating for us too.
And before you thank, let me really take this opportunity to thank all of you. A special thanks to Minakshi ma'am, Gunwant sir for bringing me here, Asha Menon ma'am, Aarti ma'am, all the dignitaries, Manju ma'am, and all the dignitaries for, not just for me, for thinking about the world, about the students, teachers, parents, and spending your efforts in organizing this and giving me opportunity to contribute to people. So really, thank you so much.
Thank you. Over to Madhuri, ma'am.
Thank you, Rita ma'am, for answering all questions and such an inspirational lecture. Thank you, Dr. Aarti Verma, for facilitating the question and answer session so effectively. Now, I request CA Vimal Ashar sir, Head of Accountancy, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Vimal.
Thank you, Madhuri. Good afternoon to one and all. I, CA Professor Vimal K. Ashar, thanks Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College of Commerce for giving me this opportunity to express the vote of thanks for this webinar. It is the biggest day for us. Since today being Sunday, still 4,003 delegates have registered for the webinar from various colleges and universities from 25 states and 5 union territories of India, and a few participants from Japan, UAE, New Zealand, and Saudi Arabia. This is a huge success in itself. On behalf of the Accountancy and Math Department of Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College, Ghatkopar, Mumbai, I express my heartfelt thanks to the Honorable Speaker of the webinar, Dr. C.A. Rita Shah, for sparing her valuable time for this webinar. I would like to thank trustees and managing committee members of SPRJ Kanyashala Trust who have blessed us. I would also like to thank Dr. S. Kundaoli, Director of SPRJ Kanyashala Trust, and Principal Dr. Asha Ma'am for their constant support in arranging this webinar. I would also like to thank Dr. Athavale and his team of Mukta for extending technical and other support in organizing this webinar. I would also like to thank members of the Department of Accountancy and BAF for their tireless efforts in making this webinar a grand success. My sincere thanks are due to the participants from almost all the states and union territories of India, as well as from various countries across the globe. And dear students, for attending this webinar on Sunday morning in large number and is shared in the Telegram group. All the participants are requested to fill up the same at the earliest. Thank you. Over to Madhuri.
On this note, we come to the end of our national webinar. I wish everyone a happy return to a non-lockdown life. Take care, stay safe.
Thank you.